We are the only people who are not allowed to talk about our own history.
Oh, let me bring it. Let me. Okay.
Majority report Emma was standing Black Cleopatra because Egypt was an... Dude, Emma's comments there were probably some of the cringiest, the most white person speaking comments I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't think I could be seen publicly in an area with Emma where there's like even a chance that an actual black person shows up. That was some of the cringiest. Oh my God. I think even the Majority Report audience. Just let me find this goddamn clip.
Has Ben Shapiro ever left the country? It's just amazing to me. Here's Ben Shapiro. I mean, it's like the...
this is on the Majority Report channel, and even their comments are, I've never seen people say stuff so unbelievably wrong with such confidence. It's, oh my God. It's funny how the radical far left wing of the Democrat Party used to scream condition aid to Israel, and now it's literally the mainstream position of the Democratic Party. What changed? What do you mean, what changed, dog? Public perception.
You know how, like, these people wake up in the morning and here's Ben Shapiro. He's upset about the casting choices of Netflix.
Oh.
And...
do you think that he even really cares? Like, I think that there's a level of Ben Shapiro who says, like, I have to do this for the audience. I kind of resent this.
About someone playing...
well, of all people! Like, yes. It's like...
this is for the base. So he has to work himself into this. He thinks he's above it, but this is who your audience is.
Yes, and what is stunning about this, too, is, like, how dry must the well be to be complaining about what he's about to complain about in terms of, like, the racist well that they're swimming in.
The notion that Cleopatra was black is silly. Again, you're allowed to do this in Hollywood because, of course, the only thing that matters is our weird, parochially American perception of what race matters. It's super, super strange. By the way, we actually have sculptures of Cleopatra. It's not as though there's like nothing to indicate what Cleopatra looked like. There's a Roman sculpture of Cleopatra from the mid-1st century.
First of all, it's the left that's being parochial, not the guy that can't go on a map and see which continent is Egypt on.
I can't hear that again. Oh, that's the one hit I can take today for you guys. Oh, oh God. Oh, why did you say that? Oh God. I'm not wearing the glasses. I have to stare at the sun full on. Oh God. I'm a bit confused, maybe too white, but what did she say that was wrong? Basically what she's saying is that if I go anywhere in the continent of Africa, it should look like basically the backdrop to a rap music video. That all over Africa, it's all just like the black people that I know and love. It's just black people. It's just all black, African-American looking black people everywhere. It's just like the Egyptians and Egyptians don't, if you saw Bassem, I don't know if we wouldn't call him black in the United States, right? Egyptians, there might have been black people historically in Egypt, but generally I don't think Egyptians are considered black. And if you were to go to Egypt right now, you wouldn't consider them black, even as Americans. It's an incredibly cringe thing to say. It's just an incredibly cringe thing to say about Egypt.
Ben.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not actually sure if any of North Africa, like if I were to look at pictures of, if I were to Google like Libyans or like the people of Tunisia or Morocco, are any of these people going to be black? I don't know. If you go further west, I'm not sure. But like the idea that you would just look at, the idea that you would just like, oh, it's in Africa, so obviously it's going to be an African American looking person.
That can't go on a map and see which continent is Egypt on. Ben. Facts over feelings. Ben Shapiro doesn't understand that,
it's
like,
the north of Africa.
Good job, Bradley. He doesn't seem to understand that.
Like, I think I have an excuse. Okay, I mean, I really can't use this excuse anymore. But I was just saying, like, I have an excuse. Like, my background is like, I'm like a gamer boy. Okay, so there's a lot I don't know, because that was my background. I just do games, and now I kind of do politics. But I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years, so maybe I can't use that excuse anymore. But like, oh God, why would you even venture into this world and make comments this strong?
His own fanciful notions of what Cleopatra looked like. Maybe he saw Elizabeth Taylor at one point play her. That's informed by your culture. That's informed by what you were fed as a child, as opposed to the geographic location of where she's literally from.
And by geographic location, she means the continent of Africa. I think, which is like the size of like 10 United States or something. Square footage of African continent. Square footage of USA. I know there's that website. About 9 million versus 30 million. Okay, it's like 4 or 5. Why is Emma so dumb? It's not. This is just like, again, this is like, actually, I'm glad we watched this. This is like the encapsulation of the progressive brain rot. That, like, it's all minorities versus white people, basically. You used to fight gamers that were saying that race swapping characters were going too far. You said once they start race swapping historical characters, then you will take them seriously. Do you take them seriously now? Those people? No. Those people are usually racist and losers and fat. No, I don't take them seriously. But this was cringe. Also, hold on. To be clear, I don't necessarily even think that race swapping is necessarily bad. I think it just depends a lot on what you're trying to show. If you're making something and you're calling it like a mini doc or a docu-series or a documentary, racial stuff is going to be a lot more important. Or if you're making like a biopic, or if you're doing something and you're claiming a high level of historical accuracy, then we're going to be a little bit more critical. But if you're, but if you're not, if it's just for entertainment or something like that, then I don't know who the cares. It just depends, right? Like when the Harry Potter plays were starting, or there was like a Broadway musical, if there was some bullshit for Harry Potter, and they wanted to make Hermione black, I don't think there's any problem at all with that. Who cares? They're gonna make her black. But what was cringe about it was when, also, it's also cowardly to say this. J.K. Rowling staked out a cowardly position where she said, I didn't say what race Hermione was. J.K. Rowling should have come out and said, Hermione can be any race. It's not really important to her character. That's what she should have said.
They are culturally appropriating my culture, calling the people of Egypt of today, despite their skin tone, that they call us as invaders, they call us as intruders, and they are being erased from our own history. This is something that Hollywood has done over the years.
I understand, but let me throw this back at you. There's this point that we've had so many cases now where people talk about appropriation with actors, be it their sexuality, be it their gender on occasion, be it whatever it may be. And ultimately, I always come back to one point, which is, shouldn't actors do what their job description is? Act. I mean, shouldn't any actor be able to play any part, actually? And once you start making exceptions for that rule, where do you stop?
Is that question for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is not a work of fiction. This is a docu.
That's where you get the, what were the memes? People were making, where are like the stupid posters? Where it's like Leonardo DiCaprio now playing Martin Luther King or whatever. I don't think you can completely entirely, or is it Ryan Gosling? I don't think you can completely and totally divorce what the actor looks like and who they are from the role that they play. I don't think this is ever working, ever. I don't think you're ever getting away with this. Like, I don't think this is ever gonna work.
Documentary. This is a documentary. There's a huge difference. This is not the Little Mermaid, which is like a fictional character where anybody can play anything. Cleopatra came from a Macedonian Greek origin, and the thing is, it's not about like the skin color. We don't care about if they're black or white. It's about how Hollywood is so culturally sensitive, and they're so sensitive about all kinds of minorities. But when it comes to my people, we seem to be erased. A couple of years ago, they announced that Gal Gadot, an ex-Israeli soldier who condones her government actions and atrocities against Palestinian children.
One of the biggest faults of like progressives or people in the United States. I'm not even going to say in the West. The problem with people in the United States, and you see this a lot with the way that we talk about people, even just saying black people is a hilarious reductionist term, right? Because African immigrants and African Americans are entirely different groups of people. The way that we view race in the West, especially from the minority lens of like, you've got white and then you've got everybody else, that lumping of everybody else together is such a comically American idea. And even the minority started to see some issues with it, which is why you get stuff like BIPOC, which is still missing the point completely. But yeah, the view that we have of, I think, race in the West, in some ways it's like in some ways it's a lot more elevated than how they view it in Europe, and in other ways it's a lot more childish than how they view it, I guess. I don't know.
She was going to play Cleopatra. For me, this is even a bigger insult. And Gal Gadot is not black. It's not about black and white. It's about this idea of Hollywood always stealing the culture of my own people. I don't care what Charlton Heston tells you in The Ten Commandments or Steven Spielberg tells you in The Prince of Egypt, but I'm sorry, Jewish slaves did not build the Great Pyramid. This has been debunked many times by historians.
Let me
so I think it's like we are the only people.
How is it elevated? I'm going completely anecdotally here. But I think in the United States in general, I think that we're better about having different types of people here, treating people better just because, you know, not based necessarily on the way that they look. I think as a general rule of thumb, especially in cities, I think we're better at having lots of people travel here and being treated as human and like ordinary people and calling out things like microaggressions or kind of like overt racist actions. I think we do that better in the United States than I think happens in a lot of even Western Europe. I think we do that better than them. But then we have like a lot of weird that goes off in the other direction. This is all anecdote based on people that I've heard that travel the world as different races of people and in comments I've read and stuff. Maybe that's not 100% true, but that I'm being honest, it's just anecdotal. That's what I've heard.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.